wasn't always the case. Today, the Rijksmuseum is known as one of the most beautiful buildings in Amsterdam. After it opened in 1885, the design was severely criticized. The architect Pierre Cuypers opted for an historic style. He designed the museum as a cathedral for Dutch art, including vaults, murals, and stained glass windows. Many people thought the building was too old-fashioned.
It's over there. It's on the other side.
These days, fortunately, Cuypers' historical style seems much more appreciated. Cuypers also designed the Central Station. In 1876, he was commissioned to design both the Rijksmuseum and Central Station. The architect designed both buildings to serve as city gates to Amsterdam. For the North Gate, he planned the Central Station, and for the South Gate, the Rijksmuseum. In recent years, the Rijksmuseum has undergone a great deal of renovating in order to meet the ever-growing collection of art and number of visitors. The largest renovation started in 2003 and took 10 years to complete. It took less time than that to complete the museum's original construction. But the results are unmistakable. A total treat for your eyes. Don't forget to visit the freely accessible garden of the Rijksmuseum. Enjoying this green oasis lets you escape the hectic pace of the city.
Windows, yeah.
The sea had a monopoly of trade with Asia and thus earned great sums of money. Consequently,
Lovers
in a short time, Amsterdam developed into one of the richest cities in the world. That fact attracted people from all over Europe and elsewhere.
Yeah, how does that work?
The old city became overcrowded. Additional housing became urgently needed to accommodate the population explosion. City carpenter Hendrik Jacobsen
No, the house, bud.
with a master plan. The canal belt
A luxury resort.
would be a water network of 3 main canals that run in a semicircle
that
around the medieval city center, connected by a long transverse canals.
Take a wrong turn.
The names of these 3 main canals? Correct. They are the Herengracht, Keizersgracht, and Prinsengracht. In 1613, the workers started the first phase of the project, the construction of the 3 main canals up to the Leidsegracht. The Leidsegracht then forms the southern boundary of the city. The second phase of the project followed in 1656. The 3 main canals were extended from the Leidsegracht to the river Amstel. The mega project lasted a total of 50 years. Upon completion, Amsterdam was no less than 4 times as large. 400 years later, for all people all over the world, the historic river canal still holds an irresistible attraction.
When I wake up
17th century canals, lined with warehouses and city palaces, are amazingly well preserved.
Like how low,
and
like
are
that
on the
looks like
UNESCO
it's
World
sitting
Heritage
down
List.
in the water, doesn't it? A bit like this. How low it is. Unless it's already half.
Houses have disappeared. Look at the ridge of the buildings. At the very top, you see a lifting beam. These beams were once used by the merchants to lift their heavy merchandise from the street, bypassing narrow stairwells. This is an old Amsterdam custom that has never disappeared. Amsterdammers still use the lifting beams to lift heavy items. So don't be alarmed if you see a sofa or piano dangling on a rope along the street. It's just an Amsterdam move. Nichols Canals, the Amstel and the IJ River, used to create Amsterdam as a new water city, built for and on the water. You can't imagine it now, but to the end of the 19th century, the canals were still a kind of open sewer where excrement, trash, and rotten fish floated around. Fortunately, from 1935, the city center of Amsterdam was connected to the sewer system. As a result, the canals are now cleaner than ever. You can't drink the water, but you can smell it. For example, the Amsterdam City Center takes place every September. Thousands of people jump into the canals to raise money for charity. By the way, did you know that the canals are about 2 to 3 meters deep and are full of fish? Because the water is so clean, it is teeming with fish, from piper to bream. So don't be surprised when you see a fisherman at the canal throwing out his rod. You can even find a Canadian freshwater crayfish here. A restaurant owner thought the crayfish he purchased were dead, dumped them into the canal. But that was simply not true. Actually, they multiplied significantly and, moreover, taste delicious.
And I did.
Some of them are falling.
Sail Pass Mauritius, one of the most striking buildings in
That one's
Amsterdam.
52, so.
Does the facade with the huge columns remind you of a temple? That could be right. The building was built in 1787 as a temple of enlightenment. In that period, the Netherlands were under the spell of the Enlightenment, an intellectual movement that started from its own mind and rebelled against the church and authorities. Everywhere in the Netherlands, groups of citizens formed societies who wanted to contribute to a better social order. One of those societies was the Felix Mauritius in Amsterdam. Here they built a gigantic headquarters that included a concert hall, a drawing room, and a physics room. Wealthy citizens gathered in these halls to delve into art and science. It was a kind of luxury evening school for adults. In the 19th century, Felix Mauritius grew and became the cultural center of Amsterdam. However, this ended in 1888 when the society was dissolved. From that point, the iconic building housed a printing company, a lampshade factory, and the headquarters of the Netherlands Communist Party. But now, the renovated Felix Mauritius is shining again as a cultural center and event location. Just like in the past, there are plenty of experimental programs for a curious audience.
Yeah, it was only like the width of 2 windows, isn't it?
Hello. Can you hear me? I'm going to go on. No, she's not.
Do you see in the distance that tower with the blue crown? That is the Tower of the Westerkerk. It's a church that was designed in the 17th century by the Amsterdam city architect Hendrik de Keyser, and is a beautiful example of the rich Dutch Renaissance style. Rising to 85 meters, the Tower of the Westerkerk is one of the most popular landmarks in Amsterdam. It's also a section of
The bells chime several times a day and can still be rung by hand. If you hear the bells ringing before a church service, then you'll know that someone
Frank sounds is the other side.
is actually
Just the
playing
other side of the
by
church.
hand. See that pink pointed staircase hanging over the water? That is one of the pink triangles of the Homo Monument.
And Frank's house is on the other side of the church.
The monument was
Other side of that
unveiled
church.
September 5th, 1987, as a memorial to all men and women who have been persecuted for their sexuality. It is a beautiful symbol of Amsterdam as a tolerant city where everyone can be themselves. Often, flowers from newly married couples or relatives of the deceased are placed here.
Amsterdam is full of monumental buildings. We are now sailing past one of these pearls. At number 123, you will see the House with the Heads, one of the most beautiful canal houses in Amsterdam. The design by Hendrik de Keyser breathes the Dutch Renaissance style, recognizable by the red and white bricks, richly decorated stepped gables, and classical accents such as pillars and small statues. The house owes its name to the 6 heads that adorn the facade. Legend has it that the heads paid tribute to a bold maidservant who chopped off the heads of 6 robbers who tried to sneak into the house. The reality is a little less exciting. It has to do with the bust of 6 Roman gods. In the 17th century as a millinery. That explains why a stone with a red hat adorns the facade. A kind of facade stone or facing brick. Before house numbering was introduced in Amsterdam around 1800, many houses were recognized by these gable stones, and often with a reference to the occupation of the resident. About 700 of these facing bricks can still be found in Amsterdam.
Pretty quiet in the streets, isn't it?
The Netherlands is a small country, but you can find our products in every corner of the world. Dutch beer is consumed all over the world, and almost everyone knows Dutch tulips and Dutch cheese. Many people return home with a cube of yellow gold in their suitcase. Not surprising, because the Netherlands is a real cheese country. Every year, millions of kilos of cheese find their way to more than 130 countries. Our Gouda cheese is particularly popular. Gouda is considered the 3rd most popular cheese in the world after cheddar and mozzarella.
Sale, would you? You come back and someone's
By the way, cheese isn't the only gold we export. Dutch beer also does well abroad. Of all the countries in the European Union, the Netherlands exports by far the most beer. On average, we annually export 2 billion liters. That translates to about 10 billion glasses of beer. The vast majority of beer from the Netherlands is consumed by Americans, but the Chinese, Canadians, Koreans, and Swiss also like Dutch beer. Likely, you immediately think of Heineken when you think of Dutch beer. That beer brand, founded in Amsterdam, is in the top 10 of the largest beer brewers in the world. But craft beer from smaller Dutch breweries is also sold abroad. The story of our exports could not be complete without speaking of tulips. This national symbol of the Netherlands is world famous. But did you know that the tulip is not a Dutch flower at all? Tulips are originally from Central Asia and only found their way to the Netherlands in the 16th century. Yet the tulip has become a traditional Dutch symbol. Dutch growers excel at cultivating tulips and developing new varieties. The Netherlands grow no fewer than 3 billion tulip bulbs every year.
Which owes its name to the many businesses that used to be located here. There are no fewer than 133 national monuments just a few meters away. Sit back and enjoy these beautiful properties. Looking around, you mainly see many high, narrow warehouses with slanted gables and wooden shutters. They are a visible reminder of the golden age. In the 17th century, trade flourished and Amsterdam grew into one of the most powerful port cities in the world. Amsterdam merchants urgently needed space to store their merchandise. The warehouses were built as storage depots for spices, coffee, tea, and cocoa. Those times are long gone. Today, these warehouses are very popular places in which to live. And behind the wooden shutters, there are beautiful and expensive apartments. At number 68 Brouwers Road, you will see the Herrenmarkt. It's not just a very pretty square, it's also home to the West Meat House. Once known as Amsterdam's covered meat market. But now, it is mainly known as the former headquarters
10,000 photos and videos.
abbreviated WIC, was founded in 1621 as the counterpart of the VOC. While the VOC focused on trade with Asia, the WIC acquired the exclusive right to trade with West Africa and the Americas.
The bridge isn't very low.
Do you like living on the water? In Amsterdam, they love it. In the canals, you will see a lot of floating houses called houseboats. But don't let the name fool you. These houseboats don't go anywhere at all. They are moored in a fixed place. Living on the water became popular after the Second World War, when there was a great housing shortage in Amsterdam. Many people converted discarded barges into cheap living space and sought a place to moor in the canals. People also built houseboats, which were a kind of bungalow built on a floating concrete barge. Houseboats became very popular and started proliferating because there were no rules. Today, the council is a lot
Park here and
stricter.
make a mistake
All
anyway.
permits are fixed in a
There's
zoning
no,
plan, and the municipality no longer issues new permits. I'm sure you can imagine how extremely popular the scarce permits must be. As you look around different as their inhabitants, there's everything from super deluxe floating villas, striking modern creations made of steel. You will even find an animal shelter in a houseboat on the Singel, the Pushenboot. We are now sailing through the lock called Nieuwe Haarlemmersluis. This ancient lock was built in 1602 to prevent the canals from being flooded at high tide. At that time, Amsterdam still had a direct connection with the North Sea. The area where Central Station is now located was still underwater.
Can't do it.
The lock soon became an important hub. Due to its strategic location on the edge of the canal belt and the A, boats came and went here to supply the warehouses on the canals. And after all these centuries, the Haarlemmersluis is still a popular junction. Especially in summer, you will find full terraces, as well as passing tour boats and private vessels.
if I'm in your way.
No, no, you're not.
Trains, buses, trams, metros, and ferries all come together here at the Amsterdam Central Station. Every day, as many as 250,000 people flow in and out of the city through this iconic building. The construction of the station started in 1869 and took no less than 20 years to complete. First, an artificial island had to be constructed in the area. Sand from the dunes was used for the construction of the island. Nearly 9,000 piles were driven into the sandy ground to give the station a solid foundation. A daunting task. Because the bottom of the artificial island was very soft, construction was delayed by recurring subsidence. Once the island was fully developed, the construction could begin. Architect Pierre Kuipers was commissioned to design a prestigious must destination for Amsterdam. And it is no coincidence that the station resembles the Rijksmuseum, which was also designed by Kuipers. Like the Rijksmuseum, Amsterdam Central is a classical building built in the Neo-Renaissance style. It is richly decorated with ornaments. Everywhere you look, you discover enthralling decorations. For example, as you stand in front of the station, you see angels stretching out electric wires. The architects were bicycles of modern times.
Oh, yeah. Like the bicycles underground there. Huge bicycle. Fantastic. There's a photo of it. We went down there to have a look last night. Well, there's so many bikes there. So they have direct plumbing straight into the mains of the city. Straight into the city. It takes a while to figure out
Oh, rubbish.
I've been thinking for years, I didn't know.
We are now sailing along the Oosterdocks Island, or Easterdock Island, an island between the Oosterdock and the A stone's throw from Amsterdam Central Station. This area used to be the domain of the Dutch Postal Service. All mail was pre-sorted here and then distributed across the country by train. In 1995, that changed. In that year, it was decided to distribute mail by truck. It deteriorated into a desolate corner of the city, fought as a virtual blind spot next to Amsterdam Central. Say that now. In 2003, the Oosterdocks Island was completely overhauled. Highlights of the renovation include the Amsterdam Conservatory of Music and the Central Library. You should also plan to visit that big Chinese building you see floating in the water. Restaurants and seafood guests. The renovation area also contains new hotels, restaurants, offices, and luxury. By the way, you can also take a beautiful walk along the water and enjoy the sound of the floating wooden jet. In short, the Oosterdocks Island has come back to life. At the corner of Prince Hendrikade and Binnenhof, voyage to Indonesia, Africa, or South America. Architect Jean Melchior Vandermeer was commissioned to design the Shipyard House by Shipping House. No expense was spared for this endeavor. The building is lavishly decorated in realistic nautical references. The shape is reminiscent of the bow of a ship. Nautical symbols such as whales, sea animals, and ships can be spotted all over it. Every square inch of wall and ceiling is artfully decorated. You'll note that even the eaves are inspired by shipwreck, waves, and fish heads. The creation of the Shipyard House also marked the beginning of an architectural style that became known as the Amsterdam School movement. Its popularity was unprecedented in Amsterdam in the early 20th century. The city valued the buildings constructed in this artistic and striking style. In 2007, the Shipyard House was transformed into a luxury hotel. Ultimately, the most beautiful and path have been preserved as much as possible. Where once stood ticket counters selling tickets to passengers seeking to take long sea voyages, there are now luxurious hotel rooms.
Fish over there.
All into the left, yeah. All into the left. That's all the red light district.
We have come to the end of this Lunar Company cruise through Amsterdam. I hope you enjoyed the city and its history. We trust you'll disembark with many new and beautiful stories. If you have any questions about Amsterdam or any of our canal cruises, feel free to ask our captain or one of our employees in our ticket office. Thank you for sailing with us today and enjoy your stay in Amsterdam.
It's beautiful.
That is interesting.
Lights at them. What I looked up was just been used as a tonight.